late Jurassic period, 150 million years ago, Earth was a planet of water and green, a world warmed by a younger sun. The atmosphere, thick with oxygen, allowed life to grow to an immense scale. This was the age of Titans, the kingdom of giants. Dawn breaks over a floodplain, painting the low clouds crimson and chasing away the cold night mist. The first light touches not the ground, but the peaks of moving mountains. These are the heads of a herd of Brachiosaurus, stirring to life after a long night. They are colossal creatures, living fortresses of flesh and bone from a prehistoric age. Their deep, steady breaths sound like the bellows of a colossal forge. Each of their steps is a tremor that ripples through the damp earth. On skin as rugged as ancient bark, beads of night dew shimmer like jewels. A miniature world existing upon the back of a giant. Their necks, a masterpiece of biological engineering, rise straight into the sky, piercing the lingering morning clouds. Weighing over 50 tons, the equivalent of a fleet of trucks, the herd moves like a river of flesh and bone, unstoppable. In the ethereal mist, one individual lowers its head to drink from a lazy river. Its movements are slow, deliberate, displaying a power that needs no demonstration. Its large, gentle eyes, half closed, reflect an entire sky on fire. To the smaller creatures, each footfall of the Brachiosaurus is an earthquake, forcing them to scurry for cover. The herd emerges as magnificent silhouettes, a symbol of silent power, marching forward in the symphony of the dawn. Their endless journey for survival leads them into forests of giant ferns and ancient cycads. They move not as intruders, but as an integral, shaping force of the forest itself. Their enormous heads glide gently above the highest canopy, like living watchtowers surveying their domain. A graceful sweep of a neck is enough to send leaves showering down like rain, opening a patch of sky for the lower tiers of the forest. The air here is thick with the scent of damp earth, the musty smell of decaying leaves, and the sweet fragrance of primeval flowers. Each of their breaths releases a warm cloud of vapor, visible in the cool air. Beneath their feet, the soft ground yields, sinking deep. Their massive feet, nearly a meter in diameter, pull free from the mud, leaving behind deep, well-like holes. These prints, soon to fill with water, become pools for insects and amphibians, an unintended legacy for the ecosystem. As they pass, the sunlight is completely eclipsed, and a swath of the forest is plunged into their shadow, the temperature dropping suddenly. They are moving mountains, and the trees themselves seem to bow before their immense power. Their superior height gave the Brachiosaurus a unique advantage, access to a food source no other contemporary herbivore could reach. Their necks, nearly 10 meters long and supported by a complex system of hollow vertebrae and air sacs, reached for the tender leaves of ginkgo and ancient conifers. They did not graze delicately. Instead, their chisel, like teeth, acted as a rake, stripping entire branches clean in a single motion. The foliage was then swallowed whole, leaving the massive digestive system and stomach stones, or gastroliths, to do the heavy work. To a juvenile, the world is seen from below. Its mother's neck is a great pillow, a living lighthouse so tall it blots out the sky. The herd is their living fortress. When resting, they instinctively form a circle, the strong, healthy adults on the perimeter, shielding the young and the old within. Their skin is a miniature ecosystem, home to moss, lichens, and countless insects. Sometimes even small pterosaurs may visit to feast on parasites. Life proceeds on their very bodies, a peaceful, harmonious rhythm among the giants. But peace is fleeting. In this world, even the largest of creatures have enemies. Hidden in the tall grass, a predator waits patiently. It is Allosaurus, a 9-meter killing machine, armed with dagger-like teeth and an instinct honed by millions of years of evolution. It breathes slowly, every muscle coiled, its eyes fixed on a single target, a young Brachiosaurus that has carelessly strayed a few paces from the herd. The mother's senses, as sharp as a seismograph, instantly detect the danger. An unnatural silence, a strange scent on the wind. Her gentle eyes now gleam with an ancient alertness. The Allosaurus lunges, a blur of speed and ferocity. But it has underestimated the power of maternal instinct and herd solidarity. A thunderous roar, not of fear but of alarm, shakes the ground. The nearby adults immediately turn, forming a living wall of bodies. The mother's colossal tail, weighing tons and acting as a counterbalance to her neck, whips through the air with terrifying force. A thunderous impact sends the predator tumbling. Wounded and stunned, the Allosaurus knows its chance is lost. Injured and facing an angry wall of titans, it has no choice but to flee. Today, the strength of the herd has won. Night falls, not as a gentle blanket, but as a swift, primal curtain, bringing with it both profound silence and a litany of hidden dangers. The vibrant sounds of the day surrender to a new orchestra of the dark. The air grows cool, carrying the chirps of ancient crickets and the low, guttural croaks of amphibians from the nearby marshes. From the deep woods, the distant, unsettling calls of small nocturnal predators begin to echo, sounds that serve as a constant reminder that even for giants, the world is not without its threats. For the Brachiosaurs, whose lives are governed by sight, the darkness is a realm of vulnerability. They must now rely on their other senses, the acute hearing that can pick up the snap of a twig from a great distance, and a sense of smell that reads the stories carried on the night breeze. They gather closer, their immense bodies creating a warm, living fortress against the chill. They communicate in rumbles too low for the human ear to perceive. Infrasound that travels through the ground itself, a constant, reassuring vibration that is the herd's shared heartbeat. It is a language of presence, a confirmation that they are not alone in the immense dark. A sudden, strange hiss from a nearby thicket startles the young one. For a creature so new to the world, every unknown sound is a monster in waiting. The darkness itself feels like a living entity. It presses itself against its mother's colossal leg, seeking refuge. It looks up, but the star-filled, terrifyingly vast cosmos is gone. In its place is the immense, familiar column of its mother's neck and torso, a shield of flesh and bone that blots out the sky. It is the only universe the young one needs, a universe defined by the warm, earthy scent of its mother and the deep, calming rhythm of her breathing. Above them, untouched by any man-made light, the Milky Way blazes across the sky like a river of diamonds, a silent witness to the giant's peaceful slumber. They are temporary titans under an eternal, indifferent sky. And then, after an age of darkness, the sun rises again. The awakening of the herd is a slow, ponderous event. It begins not with movement, but with sound deep, guttural sighs. The stretching of massive muscles unused for hours, the low rumbles of greeting as the herd establishes its bonds in the new light. The sun's first rays catch the long scar on the matriarch's flank, illuminating it like a river on a map. It is not a mark of weakness, but a tapestry of survival, each inch telling a story. The raking claws of a predator from her youth, a fall during an earthquake that shook the very foundations of the land, a battle for dominance long ago. It is the story of her life, written on her own skin for all to see. The morning light reveals the world in exquisite detail. A spider's web, spun between the fronds of a fern, is now a necklace of dew-dropped diamonds. A small, furry mammal, an early ancestor, scurries for cover, a fleeting reminder that the future of the planet belongs not to the large, but to the small and adaptable. But nature's mood is fickle. The clear sky of the morning is a distant memory. The air becomes heavy, still, and charged with the metallic scent of ozone. A sickly, greenish, gray pallor spreads across the horizon. The smaller animals grow agitated, seeking shelter with a frantic urgency. The Brachiosaurs sense the precipitous drop in air pressure. They know what is coming. They huddle together, forming their defensive circle even before the first drop of rain falls. The storm descends with unimaginable violence. It is not rain, but solid sheets of water that hammer down, stinging their thick hides. The wind is a physical assailant, a howling force that threatens to unbalance even these 50-ton behemoths. And the thunder is not a distant rumble. It is a visceral concussion, that vibrates through the ground and up through their very bones, shaking them from the inside out. In the blinding chaos, the young one, terrified and disoriented, loses its footing in the slick, churning mud. It falls, and a cry of panic escapes it as the thick mire begins to suck it down. Without a moment of hesitation, the mother acts. She maneuvers her immense body, a bastion against the tempest, to shield her child from the worst of the wind. She lowers her head, using her powerful neck not as a weapon, but with the surprising delicacy of a surgical tool. She nudges the struggling juvenile, providing a firm, solid anchor for it to push against, all the while emitting low, encouraging rumbles that cut through the roar of the storm. It is a lesson in resilience taught in the heart of chaos. Together, the herd endures, their forms illuminated in stark, heroic silhouette by the flashes of lightning, living anchors against the tempest. The storm breaks as suddenly as it began. A profound quiet descends, broken only by the sound of water dripping from every leaf. The world is washed clean, reborn. The colors of the foliage are impossibly vibrant, and the air smells fresh, earthy, and alive. And then, as the sun breaks through the retreating clouds, a colossal, perfect rainbow forms, a celestial archway that seems to bridge the heavens and the earth. It is a promise of renewal. The herd walks on, passing directly beneath the arc of the rainbow in a moment of mythic grace. They continue their journey, moving through the dripping, glistening world, heading for the deep forests that will provide shelter and sustenance. The young one, its earlier terror forgotten, now leaps with a clumsy joy beside its mother. Slowly, majestically, they are swallowed by the vast, green wilderness. We see the gentle sway of the ferns as the last, massive tail brushes past,